how actually are you using data and analytics when you're kind of choosing between a person who has to be lent to and somebody who has to be declined?
This is one aspect I think we are lacking here in terms of, I would say, a robust decisioning system. The entire process, as Manish mentioned, I'd like to say something. I have never been to the bank regarding my SB account. I'm always doing it online, whether it is drawing money or any other transactions. But as someone said, for a loan, you still need to stand in front of somebody from the bank. Now, this brings in costs. I'm again referring to the automotive sector. We have seen some large dealerships where you have 7 people from different banks sitting there. Now, somebody has to pay this, which is the customer. Okay, so one of the things which again we have been looking for and speaking to banks is have some sort of a decisioning system. It could be, I know there are various parameters, but with the technology today, you can definitely arrive at least, as I mentioned earlier, some sort of a decision which is conditional till you actually get your papers in, till somebody scrutinizes it, and maybe you go the traditional way. But I think as we go along, that traditional approach can be minimized in terms of certain segments or certain profiles, and lead to something which is completely, I would say, based on a algorithmic decisioning system. I think we should finally get there, which is what is available all over the world.
I would say there are 3 things to keep in mind. Right. Number 1, borrowing history. Number 2, relationship with you on other products. And number 3, an answer for people where there is neither of number 1 and 2.
We start the lending process right in the very beginning, where the product planning is happening, and it is not that risk team is not involved in the product planning stage. And we look at how the product is being designed, how is it going to be sourced, which channel is it going to be sourced, because that is where, what I said earlier, the value proposition comes in, and we need to attract the right kind of customers. In one of the earlier sessions, people were talking about carpet bombing. If we end up doing carpet bombing, you'll obviously end up getting a lot of customers who are not interested in your product and will take the money and walk away. But if you are focused on what we are selling, then a lot of good customers is going to come in through the door. So that is the key element that I have learned as a risk manager. At one point of time, I used to think that the product design was a responsibility of the product team, and risk managers should not be involved in that. But that is a lesson I learned the hard way. That's one. Secondly is, of course, as I said, the repayment capability of the customer. So once you have matched the need of the customer with the profile of the customer, you have attracted the customer in, you have to make sure that the customer has a capability of paying you back. So the capability will be determined based on the leverage which the customer already has, and there you rely on the bureau data to know how much leverage the customer already has on the bureau and in the market. And the third is, of course, the behavior of the customer, the repayment behavior. And Manish was absolutely right that the behavioral information is the strongest information that you can have, that if a customer has defaulted once, it's possibly going to default once again. So these are the 3 key elements that we put into our algorithm, and we do try to go as digital as possible and straight through as possible to code all of this into our systems and make sure that that the decision is as seamless and straight through as possible.
The direction is right, and time will test and prove that what they're doing, all the banks and all the other stakeholders are doing, actually works. It's disruptive at this stage. It's called disruptive. At some stage it will become constructive, and it will be called as something that was always something the industry needed, and it's absolutely the right direction.